Something that's been said for years as well. Oh, Justin's hair was never curly. Justin has always straightened his hair. When I was a kid, now this is what I want everyone to start listening to me, because women do a lot of scams. I don't believe what women say. Any female that ever starts talking to me, in my mind, I'm there going, liar, liar, liar. Because like, learned behavior has taught me that women can't tell the truth ever. So, because I've heard some bullshit rubbish over the years. Okay, 2016 and 2018 pretty much wasn't, well, true. The only thing I'm going to say is truth is that, yeah, I've got a slip disc in my back, S1L5 disc bulge, plus torn meniscus in my right knee, which I always thought was the disc affecting my right knee. Anyway, it wasn't. So I do actually use a walking cane, have been using one since 2007. You would never know. You would never know because, well, you're not supposed to know until you guys started surveillancing me. I can't believe it. But I kept a lot of that secret. Ask Gio. Be like, oh yeah, Justin's used a walking cane inside the, like, for a lot when his hips out. Those are times where Giovanni's actually carried me, and the chiropractor's got photo of my hip being all the way out where I couldn't walk. I could not walk on the right side of my body. I was paralyzed down the right side of my body. Health Odyssey in Bondi Junction has that on record. Okay? Health Odyssey. Now, difference between Australia and America, when my hip's that bad, and then the muscles all seize about it, I can go into a doctor and get a muscle relaxation injection into my back. That's going to help. In Australia, you're sitting there in a waiting room forever. Like, I was at St. Vincent's once, and they don't do anything. It's like, oh my fucking God, I'm in pain, I can't walk, it's killing me. Do something. In America, you can walk straight into doctors and they'll jab you with a muscle relaxant, which I've used myself. Yeah, I just jab in my leg. So, massive difference between, I love when Australia carries on with this bullshit. Oh, but we're better than America. Not, you're better when it comes to Medicare, but then what do I get from Medicare? Do I get what I need? Because if I walk into a fucking medical practice and my back's out and my hip's out, and then all my muscles are seizing and it's pulling my guts and I can't even go to the toilet, and I'm in agonizing pain where it's almost giving me a hernia in my pelvis region where it's pulling my ball sack. Give me a fucking injection to relax the muscles, and they won't in Australia, but they will in America. That's where America's better. So they look at an injury and it's like, okay, let's get this now before it gets more damage. In Australia, they look at an injury and go, how much more money can we make from this through Medicare over the years? Big difference. And that's where I do like America a lot better than Australia. So that's all facts. But this rubbish about me curling my hair, I wasn't curling my hair, crying in front of the mirror. I was rehearsing lines. I can't believe this. I joined with a new agent in 2016, and I'm method actor, and I'm trying to see how this would go because I haven't done acting since 2007, since before I was mugged. Next minute, I'm getting all these bullshit lies made up about me. Yeah, my hair is naturally curly. And then my mum goes, oh, it's because he ties it back. I'm like, oh, Carol, there's a photo of me taken in April 1990. And my dad's hair is fucking curly when it's long. My grandfather's hair is afro. My nan's hair's curly. My dad's sister's hairs are curly. My hair's wavy and frizzy. It's naturally wavy and frizzy. Now go look at Sky Sheridan Fleming, my younger sister. And what I want people to do is to actually go and take notice of the photo that I put on social media on Dad's 40th. Dad Mark Ian Fleming, because Dad Mark Fleming's my father. And there's this rubbish which come from town with other people that know the Rackleys. Yeah, apparently Mark Rackley had curly hair. I'm like, okay, Mark Rackley was always bald. But Mark Rackley's hairline started way up here. Way up here. So Mark Rackley he had this big forehead, like massive big round circle here. And then it was long here. And then he went bald. Like the Rackleys have pattern baldness. Don Rackley was bald. Mark Rackley's bald. I'm sure his son, Daniel Rackley, will be bald. Difference between the fact the Rackleys compared to the Flemings, where Stanley Fleming had a full, thick head of frizzy, untamable hair to the day he died. My grandfather had very thick hair. My dad had more of his mother's hair, but my dad still got a full head of hair. Myself, well, I had all these issues with alopecia and skin problems and infections, where there was a time when my beard just here, you could do because of the sores. So after 2010, I had an immune issue in my skin, and same when it flares up again now. But it was actually to do with skin. And somebody was like, "Oh, are you losing your hair?" I'm like, "No, I've actually got." So I've got antibiotic-resistant skin infections. When they flare up, it's like if you have a skin infection and it flares up, with the hair's gonna pop off like there. So I was getting it in here, and it was all through the head, through my scalp. Anyway, there's my scalp. To idiots, but so now my hair. There's a photo of myself. So, Annette Craven, Dad's partner, took it, and I used to have this mullet in the 80s. So short on top, long at the back, and you can just so see on my collar there's this curl, or like exactly what my hair does there, and well, a wave. Next minute, I'm getting told that, oh, Justin was molested because he curls his hair and all this rubbish. He has, see, like, and that's what that Deb Mears, a fuckwit from Tamworth, was doing. I played a prank on her. I thought she was a fucking loser. I honestly thought Deb Mears was the biggest deadbeat loser I've ever met in my entire life. Now, my hair, so anyway, oh yeah, I did. I played a prank on her. I thought, you're a fucking loser. Go anchor yourself down, sweetheart. I don't think you have much of a business left in Marius Street. So anyway. Hair is naturally dark brown near black, and it's naturally wavy. I brush it down straight my entire life. Go have a look at the photo of Dad taken in December 1996 out the back of 47 Hillcrest Road, Empire Bay at Dad's. He's holding my younger sister, Sky Sheridan Fleming. In that photo, Sky Sheridan Fleming's got these sort of very dead straight blonde baby hair, exactly what I had when I was a kid. When she grew up from being a baby, she got the Fleming hair. She's lucky. She got the Fleming thick hair. She's really lucky. So the Fleming have really coarse, thick hair. I didn't get that. But the Fleming side have very thick European, like, ethnic European thick hair. Sky's got it. She's lucky. Dad's sisters have it. Auntie Linda has it. Pop had it. So the Flemings. And Sky got Dad's father's olive skin as well. So she was lucky. So my younger sister got the olive skin and the very, like, thick gypsy hair. So anyway, go have a look, because so Dad's birthday is the 12th and Sky's is the 13th. So Dad was 40 and Sky was 1. And in that photo, you see Sky, and it's like, well, her hair's blonde as, and it's dead straight and fine. I'm like, yeah, because it's baby hair. Same as I had baby hair, like exactly the same. My baby hair was exactly like Sky Sheridan Fleming, my younger sister. She grew up and she got this massive big mane of thick hair, which is the Fleming side. When you start looking at the Fleming side, there is big mane of thick hair. Meredith had it. I mean, they all thin it out. I don't have to thin mine out. I used to use that comb that Mum used to use on the horses. Anyway, so it's just rubbish what's been said over the years. And then, okay, so Shane Childs is Shane Childs. Why did idiots project Shane Childs' upbringing on me? Which must be ABOs and Housing Commission people. So I'll say this, that the statements I've made about what Nan and Pop said about their children is true. I'm not going to bring it up again. So Reg and Lola Purdy, my grandparents, who like raised a man and myself, what they told me, because they raised a man and myself, and what they told me in the year 2000 is true. Like how they wanted a man and I to turn out because their daughters were a waste, lost cause. Well, I'm not going to repeat it again because what I've said is the truth. How Mum was educated differently to the rest of them because they were putting all the energy to Mum. All that's true. Nan and Pop sat with me and told me everything. I was very close to them. And they, so everything. So I know everything. Like my grandmother and my grandfather, so my Nan and Pop, Reg and Lola, we had transparency about everything. Like we were like just so transparent towards each other. So I ended up being really close. Well, not end up. I was really close to them. So back in 2017, I brought this up with Giovanni. I was like, people are projecting Shane Childs. So how? It's like, well, this deadbeat household lady described Shane Childs exactly. It's like, well, how so? It's like, okay, number one, they're talking about. So and difference is also, Amanda and myself grew up with horses. We grew up with equestrian horses. Whether I had which I did have a quarter horse at one stage, Katie, which was Major's Fantasy. Major's Fantasy had won Merits. She was a quarter horse. Or we had the stock horse that was Mirrorbook and Night Rider, Kane. So your attire is different. The same as when I'm riding a thoroughbred hack in the Mount Riding Equipment English Gentleman's Turnout class at a Royal. What I'm going to wear for that class suits that class. So yeah, I have 10-gallon hats because of the quarter horse and so forth. but I've never done roping. Okay, difference. So we always done equestrian and royals, and nationals and equestrians, horses. So go back. Shane Charles' deadbeat father, whatever. They're dragged up in housing commission. They're very different upbringing to us. They're very different lifestyle. I had this projected onto me. So the Abos and the Housos that used to be always around Robin. So I've literally had, and they were homeschooled. When they homeschooled, wasn't Shane and Christy Childs homeschooled? They were. They went to, because they're deadbeats. They went and visited some Purdy that lives in, not Alice Springs or somewhere. They went, yeah, they were. They were deadbeats. Anyway. I had all this projected onto me for like 11 years. I'm sitting back going, you've described. So, social support workers and mental health workers have information that directly relates to Shane Charles, Daniel Rackley, Justin Pascoe. I'm not any of these people. And then, of course, have then said, oh, personality disorder. It's like, no, it's not. I've just told you that information that you have doesn't even relate to me. Where'd you get it from? Doesn't relate to me at all. So where'd you get it from? But I can tell you who it relates to. When you're there going, I imagined, this isn't you. This is what this deadbeat Deb Mears did. Oh, it's not you to be wearing like all the designer label and all this gold. I'm like, then you never knew me as a kid then. I see, I had the best clothes you could buy. So did my dad. And jewelry? Yeah, I come with ghetto gold. So did my dad. You can see that in the photo taken in 1990 where Dad's wearing the white polo shirt, those beautiful grey like dress pants. We're going to a barbecue with Annette Craven, his partner. The belt matches the shoes and he's covered in gold jewelry. Amanda's wearing that pink number. I'm wearing my little sort of stonewashed jeans, my little 80s number, 80s shirt and my high top, were they my Adidas high tops or my Reebok pumps? Because I have both. I have Reebok pumps and Adidas high tops. Yeah, I'm not a country guy. I know why people keep thinking I grew up on a farm. Anyway, I didn't grow up on a farm. I grew up on a horse stud. That means horse stud means landscape gardens. You know, horse stables, horses, swimming pool. That's how I grew up. So, the projection of Shane Charles went like this. It was like, oh, I envision you. This isn't you. Oh, I envision you. You're always in the bush. Oh, this is where that Stephanie Tassala's the insane piece of shit. Oh, because you love the bush. Oh, I never did. Like, that's completely out of my character because as a little kid, and I was to hang around 43 Piper Street Light Club more than anyone, my Nana Lola used to be, because she had the terraced house. And, like, that's Nan's house. And Nan's like, oh, God, Reg, see, Justin loves the city. He's going to end up moving. My pop loved it because my pop's from the city. He's going to move in the city when he gets older. You can see, like, he just preferred, like, I was always in the city. It's like, I hated the bush. I hated nature. I was always in the city. As a little kid. Always in the city, always in the theatre, always in art galleries. So, this, but you love the bush. I never did. Shane Childs did. He was always running off to his dad's house in the bush. In Bathurst or Rockley or somewhere. Then it was, I envision you. This isn't you. Well, it is. I envision you to be someone that likes fishing and camping and hunting. So, I never did. That was it. That you'd collect reptiles and lizards or some shit. Walking around with a snake on one shoulder and a lizard. That's almost like these people know Shane Childs. So, and that you drive a ute. I never fucking drive a ute. I've had sports cars. The only shitbox cars I had was because when I was a teenage, like 17, and Mum wasn't letting me have an Alfa Romeo. And Mum should stood up and she goes, oh yeah, what? When he's at in the trading post with Dad. I'm in Kerry Road, I'm sitting there in the trading post circling cars with Pop, and they're all sports cars. And Mum goes off ahead and says, Dad, he's not having a sports car for his first car. He'll be a police magnet. He can get any car just to muck around with, like, at the moment. When he's 21, he can get a sports car. So I've never been interested in utes or anything like that. It was always... So I'm there as a 16-year-old circling. We're looking at all these Alfa Romeos. And Pop was weak and goes, that's right, Justin. Yeah, your mum's right. Your premiums will be for the roof. Like, and he's giving me a little wink because Pop always had sports cars, Reg. When he was young before they had kids. Even answered that. He goes, oh, you like... So my dad always had good cars as well. Mark Fleming. So anyway, so the shitbox cars that, you know, what you learn on, basically, because you don't maybe you dint them up and so forth. Yeah. Okay. But I've always had sports cars. Never had utes. Ever. Never drove a ute. Ever. It's always been sports cars. So that's where it was wrong. So well, I never drove a ute. Shane Charles did. Then there was, what else was it? Oh yeah. Hey, and when you go back, you see more BMWs and Mercedes-Benz in New England than you do in... So, yeah, like, seriously, Ben Dunn up the road. When I'm getting my license, Mum goes, go and see Michael Bly because he's got connections. See what he's getting his son, because his son was about a year older than me. And I come back, I go over to Michael Bly's, and come back and said, oh, Michael's getting his son a BMW. Mum's like, you're not having a BMW for your first car. It's like, but my neighbours all do. Well, my neighbours, like Michael Bly's son had a BMW for his first car. Ben Dunn up the road had a BMW. Or even, I think, Tatiana Seckham and Natasha Seckham, well, they drove around their mum's Mercedes with their first car. Bloody Phil Morby next door and Esther, well, they had Mercedes and Land Rovers that their kids got to drive around on. And even my art teacher had the Mercedes. I was like, well, you're not getting a BMW for your first car, Justin. It's that simple. Like, all right. So anyway, so I listened to Mum, got, like training cars for the first car, and then got what I wanted after I was 21. But it was never I didn't grow up with utes around me. Christ almighty. Like, they're this rubbish. So yeah, people, utes are a utility, it's a work car. I'm not Shane Childs and Christy Childs. I'm not some househo deadbeat. So anyway, so that was that. And I was like, these guys, they're describing Robin Childs. So Robin Childs was this drunk, deadbeat, housing commission, single mother with kids. It's like, so yeah, my mum, so they was like, oh, and you grew up without a father. It's like, what are you talking about? Like I had a father that came home and played baseball with me in the backyard and kicked my soccer ball around and used to take me to soccer practice. So I had these household deadbeat go, because, and you idolised your uncle, your mum's brother. It's like, I didn't. We never knew Denny Purdy growing up. Like, he was never there because we're like, mums are like different tastes to him. He was like mountain man, a weirdo. But he lived with Robin Childs. He lived with Robin Childs and he raised Shane and Christy. Like, he grew up with Shane and Christy Childs. So Shane and Christy Childs grew up with Denny Purdy. So, but I never knew him growing up. I never really knew Denny until after I was 21. Like, we never had anything to do with him growing up at all. The guy is a complete stranger to me, but Shane idolised him. And so that's where it was like, you idolised him because you never had a father. I'm like, oh, I had a father, but Robin Childs left Shane Childs' father when he was a baby. He was one. No, I had a father and I wasn't raised in housing commission and I wasn't raised with a single parent home. I had my father there, and even when my father divorced my mother, he was there all the time. Like, he was still there in our life prominently. The only first time that my dad hasn't been in my life prominently has been since 2012, because the argument my ex-partner caused. So the description was Shane Childs. Then it was, you dye your hair black to look like your uncle. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, my hair's been black since I was a little kid before Mum moved from Sydney. Now you have to, like, every description was to do with Shane Childs. Shane Childs then from Tamworth, the Freemason nursing home, and all these nurses and deadbeats up there, Moobie House, they described Daniel Rackley. Well, Daniel Rackley moved there in 1995 and hung around his father, Mark Rackley. He used to affiliate with the nurses and drug and alcohol, because he was involved in drugs and alcohol and other people there. So they gathered information to do with Daniel Rackley. Then from the high school, the information that was gathered was to do with Justin Pascoe, and that was really obvious. So I've sat back to these deadbeat social and support workers for the past 11 years saying, okay, I don't know how you expect to get away without paying me damages, because you've actually broke privacy laws, but where you've got the information from is not a reliable source because it doesn't relate to me. So was my mum doing a scam? Where'd you get your information from? It doesn't relate to me, and I've told you who it actually relates to. I told you back in 2017. Literally, I told this deadbeat mental health worker that was there going, why do you believe your dad's a builder? It's like, because my dad is a builder. Like, my dad built that. So when you go to Haymarket, that old food court area in the 90s, that my dad built the inside of that. So Haymarket, so where the Palace Hotel is on the corner, my father, Mark Fleming, did the the old owners there in the 90s will remember, because Dad was working there by himself a lot. He did the refurbishment of the Palace Hotel and extended the Palace Hotel into food court area. Dad also did, so the contract company that he worked for built the inside of Westfield shopping complexes. In 1996, he was finishing off Westfield. Well, he was doing that in 1995 as well, but he was finishing off Westfields in Tuggerah. And they had the big intensity room. And so their dad actually built a hidden cover for it. Dad was a good builder. He was a known builder. My dad's a builder. And these losers were describing my stepfather, which is a nurse, They're two different people, two different marks. And this is where mental health working scumbags of losers. Hey, not just them, because you've got Bobby Goldsmith and other organisations that were given all this wrong information as well. And I've been saying for years, okay, you're going to have to work out something, because what you've done since 2015 is gathered false information from unreliable sources and information that doesn't relate to me. And I told you back early on where the information relates to, but you didn't correct it and you went with it. St. Vincent's did the same thing. So in doing so, you've caused negligence. St. Vincent's did the same thing. I'm there going, that's not related to me. That's related to Daniel. Where'd you get it from? How'd you get the information to do with Daniel? It's like, yeah, he's always had those issues. Daniel Rackley, my ex-stepbrother, Mark Rackley's son from his first marriage in the Tamworth in 95. How'd you know? How'd you know? He's always had suicide issues, drug and alcohol issues, yeah. He's had the same issues as his father. It runs through the hereditary. It's the DNA. And I had to put up with this in America where they're like, oh, because, DNA. I'm like, yeah, DNA. That's right. So, yeah, so when your father's an alcoholic, I'm like, yeah, my dad's not. That's why Dad doesn't talk to me, because there's all these issues like, yeah, my dad's Mark Fleming, a builder. Mark Rackley's an alcoholic and a drug user and had suicide attempts and mental health issues and depression and so forth. My dad never has. So the information that St. Vincent's and other organisations gathered about Shane Childs. Okay, the description of Robin Childs. Yeah, Robin Childs isn't my mother. That's my mother's sister. Okay, that's nothing to do with me. My mother's Carol Ann Purdy. Her main name's Purdy. Her first husband's Fleming. Her second husband's Rackley. My mum was a paralegal that worked in a legal firm in the city. She used to be very stylish once. I don't know if she still is or not. Okay, very different. My mum wasn't a single mother. Okay, we had our father. I mean, this was going on in America. It's like, oh, because you never had a father. What are you talking about? My dad was a builder. He used to come home. We used to play baseball. And we used to kick along the fence. In the backyard, we used to dribble the ball back and forth because I played soccer. Like, this is where it's so ridiculous. It's like, oh, because you're a horse rider. I'm like, I was a horse rider. I did equestrian riding. That's right, for sport. And I also played soccer. These are sports. My after-school activity was modelling, art, drama, dancing, musicals, theatre. That's right. But these are after-school activities and hobbies and interests. I would come home on off days and be doing furniture restoration in the shed. My mum can even say, she goes, oh, the time that I kept trying my hardest, I was doing a Danish oil on this cabinet for my bedroom, restoring a cabinet in my bedroom. So I had all these hobbies and interests and so forth growing up. They're all pretty much related. Furniture restoration, art, design, downtown interiors, interior decoration. Trulaw's menswear, styling and visual merchandising. Tamworth TAFE in 1995, work experience for arts and media, involved in musicals, acting, modelling, dancing, so dance. So it's all very related to the arts. Okay, this is where I even had to discuss with Dr. Baker. So, because you reckon your personality's changed? Like, from what? From me listening to classical music when I was a kid and jazz, to also listening to the current music that was in my lifetime, which was the 80s and 90s and now. So I listen to 80s, 90s now, and the only thing that would be odd that's different is classical and jazz. But then I've always listened to classical and jazz. And there's points in my life where I can pinpoint that. For an example, Symphony Orchestra at the Opera House in 1995, plus the musicals and everything I was involved in. I'm not Shane Childs. So my doctor had information to do with other people. And this is where this whole, personality is different. Like, what about, there's something about crawl bob. I was like, Shane Childs collected what he called crawl bobs. He used to go and get the yabbies, and then he let him go in their swimming pool. We never freaking had yabbies in our swimming pool. Shane Childs did. Like, you got information that related to Shane Childs, Daniel Rackley, and Justin Pascoe, and then projected onto me because I'm not the character of those people where the information was gathered. And then you've harassed my life for 11 years and caused me negligence of health damages and wrong diagnosis, which is exactly what Dr. Baker did as well. Like, I've proven everything I've said is the truth. Yep. Studied French in high school, 1992, 1993. Judy Ball was my art teacher. Was it Miss Newbury was my drama teacher. So when I had my majors, and I was really good at history and so forth, but then when we had to choose the electives, I chose commerce with Peter Tryon for my electives. Okay, because I was really good at commerce. So yeah. That's it. And then after school activities, you can see I've got all the documents. I've kept everything. Plus modelling. So then there was this rubbish about, because he was teased. No, you've actually, I think everyone gets teased, but who these people talked about was Justin Pascoe. It was actually Justin Pascoe who they talked about. So Justin Pascoe was mousy brown where I was black hair. I had naturally black hair. I looked like this before Mum moved from Sydney. I had a monobrow. I used to have to shave and wax. Like, I looked like this before Mum moved from Sydney. Okay, so anyone who says, but he had this coloured hair, it's like, no, not after April 1989 I didn't. My hair was jet black. The only time that you could ever say that may have looked a lighter colour was when we used to always go up to Lennox Head, and I used to take that spray gel with me and spray my hair with Sunkiss or something. Sunkissed. And spray, I used to make my hair like, I used to lay out there with my long hair, spray it, lay out in the sun, get a tan, and I used to make my hair fry in the sun. So burn my hair in the sun, looked like fucking straw. It's the only time. And that's the other thing. What was the other bullshit? The long hair. So I've literally had people say, see, his hair was always short. No, it wasn't. My hair was only short 2 times in my entire life. So from birth until 1991, my hair was long and longer than this. I had long hair. Ask Uncle Richard Mihowski, because it was the day of his wedding. My mum said, you're not being in the wedding party with long hair. She made me cut it off. Then I get to the wedding party and Uncle Richard was furious because Uncle Richard had long hair. My dad had long hair. All his friends had long hair. Everybody had long hair, but Mum made me cut my hair off. Shane Childs always had short hair. I've always had long hair. I've had long hair my entire life. So the only first time I had short hair ever as a child was in 1991. Then I grew it back long again. So it was long my entire life until that one time in 1991. Then it was long again until 1999. It got cut in 1999 for modelling. I was modelling in 1999 and it got cut. The same as when I was doing modelling in 1996. It was still long and it was back more, but it was, instead of it being really long where it was down here, it was cut back again. So then when I was doing modelling in 1999, my hair was cut and it was short, and then I started doing this scissor hairstyle cut where I would use the cutthroat razor and do a thin line here and cut lines here and cut up my hairline here and do this very sort of square look, NSYNC look. So then I kept that going when I went to the States in January and February 2001, but then I started growing my hair back naturally long around 2002. So they're the only 2 periods of my entire life it's ever been short. So it's never been short, it's always been long hair. And this is where I know there's a scam going, because it's like, you see, Justin's hair's always been short until this. It's like, no. I've always had long hair. I've had long hair. Then it's like, you see, it's like, it's a scam. So is it a mentally retarded scam? Or is it a child molestation scam? Which scam are you guys up to this time? So I don't believe what I've heard in the last now 11 years. And considering now I've just lost my permanent residence status in the US with your bullshit. The photo on my green card, my hair is heavily chemically straightened. Now, if you need this to go to court, we can subpoena Franca, who used to own You Hair and Beauty on Cleveland Street, Surrey Hills, just before Crown Street there. It's where the Japanese restaurant used to be. And she used to chemically straighten Rainey Francis' hair, and she used to chemically straighten my hair. Now, given sometimes I've had it chemically straightened and it looks shithouse. Sometimes I've straightened it myself and it looks shithouse. So when I first have it done, it looks really, really bad. And then as it grows and it softens the straightening, I get it looks good, but I've stopped doing it. I used to straighten it all the time. Hairdressing salon in Balmain. Anthony used to straighten my hair. Okay, so for the green card photo, I just had it straightened, and it was really, like, I was trying to go for this 1960s, 1950s sort of flick look, which is what I did for Larry Altavilla's wedding. Now, Franca can confirm, because I used to go in there and be like, because my hair's so frizzy, she's like, just get it. The only way to fix your frizzy hair is to get it straightened. So I used to go and get it straightened. So I would always get my hair straightened. And Franca from You Hair and Beauty there in Cleveland Street, Surrey Hills, she hasn't got the business there anymore, can confirm I used to always go there and get it chemically straightened. Because the only way to stop the frizziness was to get it chemically straightened. So my hair was always straightened. It's not curled. Okay, wasn't molested. I'm not curling my hair to look like somebody or whatever scam that you guys are doing. Those are the facts. Now, this whole matter for the last 11 years, you've just lost my permanent residence status in America. Okay, let's go back. Because when you started doing your scam in 2015, you fucked over my studies when I was trying to return back to design studies. Then by 2017, you fucked over my return to work at Star Casino and lost my job. Then I was like, fuck this. So I still had my buyout stage. I still had a lot of money. Still had over 200,000 in the bank, assets and belongings, sold my BMW, went to the States where I've held permanent residence status since 2014. Then you kept going when I was in America. So then you lost my assets, belongings, savings that I had in America. I came back to Australia to deal with you people with your scams that you're doing. So there's over 80,000 American in savings alone, plus over 20-foot container of assets and belongings. I had beautiful furniture. It wasn't rubbish. I'm not meant to retarded dickheads. Okay. My mother, pinned that. My mother would see something that, for an example, my mother thinks that antique furniture has to be all polished up, that fake looking shit. It's like, no. Anything that's like old, that, for an example, say there's a maker's mark and you've got, say, well, you know what I'm talking about, like you have an old piece of furniture, if it's not shiny and sparkly, and my mum thinks it's not worth anything, which she's an idiot. It's like, okay. Most of the stuff that looks shiny and sparkly, Carol, and polished up to the max is just polished up pine at shit. Okay, they're not worth anything, and you're throwing away stuff that is worth money because it doesn't look good. Because for you, it doesn't look good because it's not all polished up. So my mother only believes that, unless it's all polished up to the max and that glossiness, which is so cheap and tacky, that's what she thinks is good quality. It's like, well, it's not. Okay. So anyway, so there was the solid mahogany Edwardian cabinet that came from the UK. That went to Lawson's in Glebe, and I purchased in 2006. That had maker's marks on it. Okay, it's solid mahogany. Okay, and the other furniture as well, like the windback cigar chairs and so forth, that were from Raffer and Keller. Plus, then you've also got the Louis XVI style marble top commode from Raffer and Keller in 2005, and the streamline maple deco tables that were lamp tables. Gold ornate mirror. It's all from 2006, 2005. Plus the Louis XVI style. Oh, you've got the Victorian music chair with the hand carved harp on the back as well. So there's a lot of stuff I left behind. More than that, but just off the top of my head. So then I came back to deal with you people. It's like, okay, I was like, all right, I'll get back to America before December 24. So I've still got the green card. Now I've lost my permanent residence status. This is how much damage that you guys are causing. Because you want to do a scam. So I'm just going to scream fraud. Now that I've lost the green card to the US, I'm not going to mince my words. Okay, in the past, since all this trouble started in 2015, I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch what I say because I don't want this going to the government. You know, I'll mince my words because they're like, you know, now I'm not. I'm like, no, man, I've lost it. I'm not going to be applying for it again. The only country I'm interested in ever living in, you know, was, you know, hey, I'll go to the UK and go back for family history, but was always the US. So no, lost the green card, won't be applying for again at my age, can't be bothered. So I'm not going to make sure I mince my words this time. I'm going to actually start opening my mouth up quite a lot. There's the damages you caused because you want to do a little scam and drag Justin into it. Me, Justin Mark Fleming. Yeah, I wouldn't. Okay.